Here we go. Okay, so we'll mix up some green and some of our warm blue that's got a little bit of red in it, which will make it a duller green. So here's our yellow. Don't really want that red there. And you can pick up this colour, use a smaller brush so you're not saturating this big brush. I should have done that for you. Run it there. So there's a lot of this that is greeny yellow but not green. So we'll create a little mix of colours in here. And then you get the annoying thing that your palette's on a bit of a tilt so they all run together. But you just have to work around those things. Yellow.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. We'll just do this bit and it will be recorded so you'll be able to see it.
Okay,
So we're good there, and so again we'll wet. So we're not going to wet up here this time. We need a clean line, don't we, between the greens here. So I'm going to wet this bit here. Nice clean line underneath that light and down to there. But I'm going to wet to the edge and let it drift out from the edge. So just tilt your paper. We might do this bit over here too. We could do them all, but I think in the interest of time and simplicity today, we'll just do these two bits. And I wonder if some of you might be missing a few lines in your drawing. So just before you do this, check your reference image. And so you see I've wet this area and this area. So now I'm going to drop in this yellowy green. I need a little bit more blue. It's a wee bit too yellowy green. So I'll put a bit more blue in over there. And I'll start at the bottom. And I'll turn it around. So it's, you don't have to paint like this all the time. You can turn it around so that you've got the tip to the edge. Because if you're trying to do an edge with the heel of the brush, you get a raggy edge. It's really hard to get it. So I'm just going to create a nice edge here. So I'll use a line and a lift. Because when you lift, it drops the pigment on. If you just did all lines, you wouldn't get much pigment onto the paper. So a line and a lift. And then you can go in and drop more. Nice little tidy edge there. Let it drift out. And you'll be surprised how much it will drift out. And then I should turn it around there, but I've wet the other side, so I'll just do this way. So I'm still using the this is the darkest green, so I'm going to put the darkest colour there. And then what have I got? And when you turn it around, turn your image around as well. Now see how it's starting to feather out there? I'll just tip it the other way, and that will, now you can see some running down the side there. It's okay because it's so wet. It will just keep going. And then just look at your reference image and think, oh, we need a whole lot more green up here. But it's not so green there, it's duller there, and then it's lighter there. So I'm going to define this. I'm going to pick up some of that lighter green, and I'll define that edge nicely there. Add a bit of water, and then extend that out. And if this drifts a little bit, that's fine, because this is going to be a darker colour anyway, and then that's going to come up there. So just to the very, we don't want too much because we want that to stay the same colour. So just see how much thinner the line is. I'm using the tip more, but in a stroking to get a nice smooth line down the edge fashion like that. Okay? If you put too much on, it runs too far, you can always lift it off again with a semi-dry brush, okay? Don't panic, and just tip it around and just let it, see how it's blending and moving?
Just like that.
Just like that. So I'll do the other side. Remind you, a little bit more blue in over here. So this is the same kind of application as we did the first two layers. isn't it? It's the same as the yellow, what we did on the yellow, but this is the next layer over the top. So we've got a nice smooth edge down there. So this is drawn slightly differently to that. I think I've left that flower out, and it's just dark behind. Okay, well we'll carry on with that process, and I'll bring it round here. So I'm creating a nice edge there, and a more yellowy, a lighter colour at the top. And remember, it'll fade. So tip to the edge, not heel to the edge. Now see, it's a little bit dry here. So what am I going to do?
Cool, Debbie.
This is really wet. This is a bit dry. See how it's not moving? There? So I'll go for a bigger brush. I'm not using my biggest brush because it's too cumbersome to get into that space. And I'm just going to catch the edge. See how I'm just touching the edge of that paint? And I've got this pressed nice and flat. So it's bringing the water a long way out here and bringing it out like that. So then it can float out. So that will stop where that wet is. So you might think, oh, it's a bit dry all the way across, so then you can take that out further if you want to. And then we'll pick up some more colour. So see how that's all spreading nicely now? So it's all that kind of balance thing of water and, so this is really dark down here. Just put it down here. See, I've got my reference image the same way as my image. I can tell you, I've painted lots of things the wrong colour because I haven't turned my reference image around. And then this is the lighter green up here. And you see, I didn't rinse my brush off to do that. There's more yellow and it's lighter there. Doesn't matter if I bring a little bit of that dark across. And if that's still too dark, then I can just add a little bit of water to it, add a little bit more yellow. But you know, it's all sort of shades in between, and so that comes up quite a little way there. So I might just do that and let it spread out. And see underneath, see we've got this nice shading from our shadow that's pushing it in. And I want the top of that leaf, that petal, to be lightish. It's wet, but if I don't paint near it, it'll stay light like that. Okay? So just a bit of tipping backwards and forwards. So if a bit dries out and you don't like what's happening, I don't think it's happening anywhere here, but I know a lot of you have had a little bit of it drying out too much and then going hard. Provided that it's wet everywhere else, you can just go over the top of it. If it's just a little bit, say if this was really dry here and I was getting an ugly sort of line or blossom there, you can go in with pigment over the top again and then let it drift out again.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes when you put paint on the edges, like doing this bit here, because you're stroking, you're not dropping a lot of pigment on, and this can dry out faster. Especially if you haven't wet it right to the edge with the massive water, this bit can dry out. So if you end up with a dry bit along there, I usually just go over the top of it again and let it drift into the wet bit. And it happens often with petals or backgrounds. When you're going in really carefully around an edge, that bit will dry out much faster than the bit that you have wet before. Now see, I'm getting a bit of feathering there. You can leave that if you like it, but if you don't, just tip the paper the opposite direction whilst it's still wet. See those little kind of hairy bits going that way? So yeah, and it just disappears because the water takes it. You just have to use the water to make the pigment move.
Very good.
Okay? So have a play with that and don't go any further than that. Oh, the other thing I was going to do was we can just do this top bit here, wet on wet. And this bit here, wet on wet, wet on dry, because it's just a little bit. So that's just a slightly dull version of what's down here. And now this is dried out because I wet it before, remember? So we'll just do this, get a nice clean edge from where that petal goes. A little bit more water to dilute it out. Actually, I need it darker, don't I? Because that's so dark bit up there. You know, there's no point going wet on wet in little areas like this. because it's fiddly. It's fiddly and it's tiny wee. Like so. And I'll take that off, and now I've got a damp brush, and I'll just brush it to the edge because I don't want too much colour at the edge. Like that, and just let it dry. The other thing you can do with this, so this is the other way. So here we've mixed colour on the palette and put it to there. This time I'm going to mix colour on the paper. And this is the most fun of watercolour, is doing it this way. So it's wet and painted, wet on dry, like that, like that. But then you can go in and drop in gorgeous colour to darken a spot, or just in a couple of bits, you know, just like so, or around the edge, and it will stop at that nicely formed edge that you thought you'd created, but I haven't. And you get just lovely textures and changes, and just tipping and tilting there. And that's the most fun mixing of watercolour, because it's mixing itself. Now see, I've got a hard dry edge there. See how that's stopped moving? So I'm just going to go in with the brush, wet it, add more water, because this is really wet, this is dried out. Add more water and wet that whole area again, and tip it. But it was just a small area, so you can do that. You don't want to have to paint a huge area. But if the paint stops moving and you want it to keep moving, you can go in with a bigger brush and wet it up and out. And if you have to wet the whole area that you've just painted, then wet it. It's a good way to recover from a hard edge. Okay?
Yeah.
But isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And you can keep on adding. You know, and I could add
You could have a bit
anything. I could put a bit of red in there to make it even darker. And this is what we'll be doing with the bird. There's a lot more of this, so this is just a teaser. Okay. So this is, when you look at this is really quite dark in here. So see how nice and granular that is, because it's got the French ultramarine blue in it. Well, it's still really wet. You know, it's still shiny, glistening. So I can go in again and drop some more colour, like that. See what I'm doing? It's just a little, just to drop just the very tip of the brush to drop it. I don't want any there, but I do want here. And it's amazing the control you can have there. Want it to come out a bit further, so we'll do that.
That's beautiful.
Provided it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, provided it's wet, you can just keep on putting colour on, different colours, whatever, and you'll learn over time what different pigments will do. So if I dropped yellow on there, it would be muscling its way in and pushing all that other colour out of the way. But I know, and there is yellow in this mix, but dropping it in an edge like that, then it's just going to come one way. It can't go any further because the wet stops. And this is where watercolour paper is magical, and it's so what I call well-mannered, that the pigment will not go past the dry line. Yeah, amazing, eh? Unless I tipped it upside down and I had a big bead of water on there.
Yeah.
But to me, that's much more interesting. That colour blend is much more interesting than just one colour stroked on and mixed on your palette. But you have to know how to do that too.
Yeah.
But this is the fun stuff. And then as that dries, it will change.
Yeah.
So when you look at that next week, it'll be duller and lighter and smoother. It won't be as textured as it looks. So, all right, so you can go back to your paintings, and we'll do that as a last thing today.
That's all going to be on video, is it? Or this?
It is now, because I've just stopped it.
So I think I'll do it next week.
Okay, that's good as gold. You don't have to do this green now, but you can do it at home if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just those two areas, okay?
So this bit here, that bit there, and down here,
And here,
and there. Okay.
yeah. Have you had fun?
Yes.
I have. Now have I told you everything I have to tell you? Just let me check. Make sure I've told you everything. So this painting here, you can go for your life. You can do 10 of them if you want to, and just practice all the things we've done today on practice paper. Or you know, anything you like. Oh.
Concentrate on several things at once.
Oh, what? You can't multitask. So,
I can't multitask.
so with the bird image that I've given you,
Yeah.
it would be great if you had time to draw it onto your Arches piece of paper. Arches piece of paper. So you can either put your graphite paper, attach this to your paper on the right side, check you've got the right side, put that on and then slide your graphite paper underneath. Or,
Do the other lily of the video.
no, underneath on practice paper.
Practice paper.
They're just practice.
Oh, okay. So this is
This is Arches. So you can do this. Put your paper over the top and if you go over this with the black marker, you'll be able to see through it. Take it to the window and do it that way.
We've got to finish this.
Right. So homework, practice, draw up and practice what you're doing here. Finish off that little bit of green if you want to, you don't have to. And practice those strokes and softening the edge with a bigger brush, lifting off. If anybody wants to take a photograph of this, they're very welcome.
But you're going to do a video, aren't you? So,
Well, I've done this, but it's a video, it's not, and it's only the last part that I've done.
please pick that up for me.
Well done.
Right. And you might find that it's just a little bit leaky. So you have extra weight on it. So just tip this, no, don't leave it out. And just gauge how much it's softened. So you might just want to take it really long, right across to the other side. See how you've got a little line now. Take it right to the edge, because that will put it out the top. It's just really not looking. Whose reference image did I have? It was Oh, well, thank you for all your concentration today. You've been awesome.
Thank you.
I won't get these notes out to you today because I'm going out for dinner to Fife Lane. Fife Lane. At the Mount, Fife Lane. I've been there several years ago, but oh, sure. So what I'll do is I'll get my. Does anybody want any paper or brushes or
That's what I've
anything?
got. So I'm missing like in between. That one's okay.
So I'll just get my book out and show you. Yeah, I think that, is it a 12 or a 14? This is a 14,
That's a 14.
which is quite similar to that.
I
So,
need that size.
so have you got an 8?
Those are the ones I, yeah. So I need that, what was it, a 12? I need that one.
Okay, I just,
Oh, I lost one, that was a problem. So I probably need those two. Yeah, I lost one, an 8.
so I've got this little notebook here. In the back, you can put your name, anything that you want me to order for you. Put your name at the top of the page. You can all have a page each. And just write down what you want me to order. And if you don't know what the price of it is, I can just refer to, you know, our original prices and I can tell you. So you want it at 12?
A 12, and then I lost this 8. It's a bit bigger than those.
I've only got a 14 on here. Let's see. I've got a 14 Rosemary Cosmetop 5530.
No, they
A
did
14?
They used to do an 8. It must be a
A
different
12.
8. A different.
Do
Because it was pure.
That's your 8. That's your sable. That's your sable synthetic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So that's
Alright.
that's my favourite brush in my
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah. Because I had those 2 of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's really good. But you
Yeah.
think you'd like a 10?
Maybe yes. Something
12.
in between. Is it?
And do you want rosemary?
Yeah.
Not Da Vinci.
No, rosemary's good, isn't it?
I think so.
So
But
what
I
is
won't order that until
When you ever.
I've got
when you're
more.
ready.
This is a 10. It's a rosemary
Yeah.
10. Is that
Okay,
so?
a
you
12
want
and a 10.
10 and a 12? So
Yeah.
you write that down
Yeah.
and put rosemary.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know how much it is, but it'll be about, so a 14 is $48,
Yeah.
and an 8 is only $20.
No, a
So
12 and a 10.
yes, but I haven't got the price here for
No,
that.
don't worry.
So it'll be that plus a wee bit of freight.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
One each. Because I feel I'm really short.
How are you feeling about? You're welcome, Marianne. How is this squirrel?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are very soft, and they're lovely for putting colour on. So they're lovely for
I just feel I haven't got enough variety.
well, what you haven't got is enough spring.
spring.
Yeah. So this is a pure squirrel or natural hair, and so when you paint with it, it's beautiful to put on like that. But the brush will stay in the same shape. It doesn't have any spring back, and it's really hard to put any pressure on. You know, it's soft, so you can't use those for lifting. So if you have a little play, I'll move that out the way, and you see what I mean, because you have to feel it to know what I'm talking about. So you try putting on some dark colour so you can see what you're doing.
I'm okay getting more brushes.
Yeah, but you just need to know what you need. I mean, these are beautiful brushes, but to do lifting things and have control, you've got less control with a brush like this. Beautiful tips and yeah. So and it's so nice to hear because you kind of have to use a brush to understand what it does or doesn't do for you. Yeah, and it's not that these are no good. It's just that it's different. Yeah. So that you use that and stroke on it, and then let's dry that off. And then you try lifting some of that off. Need good pressure.
That's the most pressure I can get.
Yeah, so it's quite
Yeah,
soft.
yes.
So then we'll do the same thing with this one.
I'm going to put a lifter on there as well. Where's my...
Oh, which size did you want? So do a little paint with this. So see how, and it springs back to its shape. So it's just a different feel, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Totally.
It's a different feel. And then, so this is a 14. Now you try lifting off. See how much more pressure you can put on. Lovely to see you, Erna. See you next week. You're welcome.
Oh, look at that.
See, it lifts off a lot more, doesn't it? So the firmer the brush, the more it will lift off. See like this one, you know, this is dry, and look at how much you can lift off with it. So, yeah, I think just looking at what you've got, so just,
The only scrubber brush I have is that little baby one.
no, but I got one for you with the class brushes, didn't I? Did you not get one in your kit?
No, this is
Oh,
it.
okay, just let me turn them around. Well, that's exactly it.
Is that the brush?
That's the brush.
That's a scrubber.
That's a scrubber.
Okay.
And that's how long it comes. And this
we've
is
got to clip its fringe.
yeah. So we're
Yep.
going to cut its fringe. So you're happy to cut that one, or do you want me to get you another one?
Oh no, I can cut that, I guess.
No, we'll do it in class. We'll all do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. So up to you. But see, I've cut that one slightly short, which is it's just a little bit aggressive. That's all. It's not wrong. It's just you just need to know that it's going to scratch the paper more than if you use that one. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could just try that one to start. See how soft that is, though. See how the little bristles are
It
bending.
won't really pick up that much, will it?
No, and you can't get as good a line.
Yeah.
So this one, if I go like that there, and this is just practice paper. And this one, oh, it's got red paint on it. It may still do it. Yeah, it will. But by trimming out a little bit, it just gives you a little bit more. So you can leave it like that if you want for now and try it.
Okay, I'll
Can't
try
put it back
Yeah.
on. You
No.
can always take it off, but you can't put it back on. And
So I'm looking for that
So-
brush with spring. Yeah.
the difference between that is that's pure natural hair.
Yep.
These are what we call sable synthetic or natural synthetic. So they're a mix of natural hair and oh no, give yourself a new page because there might be other things that you want another time.
I wanted. Not a white one.
You don't want a white.
No.
Actually, I've got a few spares of the wide ones. If anybody, I'll mention
What was
them.
that brush called?
So
Did you have a small one? I have got a scrubber at home, but it's well used.
you should have got a scrubber in your pack, did you not?
Only a
thought-
tiny weeny one.
Yeah, the 1/4 inch one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that number there?
This one.
I
So
thought there was a
this-
smaller one than that.
So that's a synthetic brush. So see how
I
much
like that brush.
see how much spring it's got, but it doesn't hold enough water for what we want to do. So that will do perfectly fine for that size. It's called a number 20, but to me that's more like a 10 or a 12. So that's a useful brush for you. So don't discard that. This is a very soft brush too. This is
Useless, that brush.
you're too soft, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too soft and not enough control.
Yeah.
So, but you have to use them to work that out, eh? So, I think that, so this is a beautiful brush for detailing. This is one that you got in class. And that is a sable synthetic mix too. But it's only a little 8, isn't it? Yeah, so it's an 8. It's one of my favourite brushes. It's so beautiful. You'll love using this for the bird. You know, it's your detail brush. Holds lots of paint, but it's beautiful and fine. So really, what you need is this, and dare I say it, a number 20. I think you'd love.
So a number 20 and a number.
That's interesting because when
What's
we
that
It's
line?
14.
nothing really. I mean,
And I think that's probably all you need at the moment.
for the introduction.
Think so.
Yeah, well, we went there once and you were saying
20 and 14. So we'll just. So this is the rosemary one, and I love rosemary, but this is a fabulous brush too. This is Gordon Harris. This is rosemary. They're pretty much the same price, but I need to order at least 10 brushes to cover the freight from England for those. So, but I.
the old man had his own
Okay.
Oh, where are you going?
church.
Are you? How exciting! Well, you
It's
could.
called SAA is the name of the company, and they have every single art product in the country.
Oh wow!
And they deliver it to the door.
In England.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you ever wanted anything,
Oh,
bring
right.
it home.
Well, look, honestly, rosemary, when I send them an order, they process it the same day and it's in the courier that day or the next day, and it takes 6 days to get here.
That's fantastic.
But it's probably $40 freight, so it's not worth ordering 2 brushes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think, look, just go with the,
Those two for now.
yeah, those 2 for now.
at the same.
Okay, do you want to do the same?
Yeah.
Diane, so that's a 20 and a 14. This is the
Gold standard.
oh, well, it's just the most useful brush for so many things. And when you're working on something bigger, this is what you paint with.
Yeah.
Not little brushes, you know, big areas, big brushes. So, but it's for doing smaller things like this, then it's great for softening edges, wetting and applying. And by the time you want one of these, by the time you get
That looks fantastic.
it is fantastic. But you use this one more, use that one more. So I'd say get that one first.
I'm not here next week.
Okay.
I'm in Wellington getting a visa for France.
Oh,
And they don't give you any option
but to be there,
any
I know.
time. It's like, this is the only time we have.
I know. My daughter-in-law is Indonesian, and she, same with she has her
have
hair.
absolutely no
Yeah,
say.
no, I get it. Well, I'll try and remember what I'm doing with recording
Can I
next week.
do something in the meantime?
No, I think
Trace my bird.
yes, trace your bird, finish the screen on here,
Yes.
do these bits here.
Yeah.
See, look how that has dulled out.
It's incredible. We're just learning that line.
The change,
last
eh?
night.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting, eh?
Yeah.
And so you've got that picture, so you can have a practice on that, and yeah,
Hey, do what they can and have fun.
exactly. And even, you know, even practicing strokes like that and softening edges and
I'm really looking forward to those brushes.
good. Well, if
I wonder if these are more calligraphy brushes.
other what, sorry?
More
No, a lot of watercolours use those, but they're very soft, so it's all about putting on
Yeah.
and looser, and not as the colour. To me, you can't control intense colour so much with that. Would you ladies mind dropping the blinds for me too? Thank you so much.
Hey, have a lovely dinner at 5.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Hey, you're not cooking. Be something.
The lady in the grey, dark grey car behind. I'm just having a minute. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, is that a spear? Thank you. Thanks, Karen.
I bought this ages ago. Is that like a mop?
Yeah, that's a mop, and it's gauche, is it?
It's got, yes.
Yeah, so it's good if you want to get a lot of water on an area, like the hake brush. They do. I've had one of these, and it's shed, and then it's disintegrated. So I don't know why, but it's like the hair's just falling out of it. So that you can definitely use it, you know, for putting water on.
Okay.
But you just can't get clean edges with it. That's all. You can use it as a blusher brush. Here's my taxi.
Art-wise, it's better to get it through you, go away, see something, get it through you, or if we're in Auckland and go into yeah.
I'd give it a go. I would say to them that in my class, and that we get a 20% discount to the class, and they can check my name.
So and see what happens.
And see what happens. So we automatically get 10% as a celebratory Friday, I remember. But yeah.
But they support teaching. You may get that before.
Yeah, they have a whole, they call it a yeah.
Which is good.
And so
It's great for setting up groups. Oh, I get to see them playing.
yeah,
I'm not sure about
have a lot. Okay, use that list, because that'll keep them straight. Thank you.
Let's have a look at it while I'll show you.
Can I open it and put some on?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to do at home?
I can do it at home, we don't need to muck around here.
Name. Don't you think Gordon Harris should have a shop here?
You what? Yeah.
Gordon Harris should have a shop here, shouldn't they? See you, Marianne. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, really amazing.
well, you have a fun week and get those brushes motoring across your paper.
I go to the school on Monday
Yeah.
and I do all my homework there.
Well, don't tell them that.
No, there's no tutor. There's no tutor there.
Oh, okay.
So it's okay. I wouldn't do that otherwise because it'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
No, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Shirley does a great job of what she does.
Yeah.
She's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I've just got a different approach.
She's not well, you see, so she hasn't
Yeah.
been for ages.
But-
Whether she'll be back or not, I don't think
But
she will.
everybody that you learn anything from is going to have a different approach.
But the girls like to see